Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Today our topic is a poem, The Listeners, and it is written by Walter de la Mare. Let me read the poem. Is somebody there? Said the traveler, knocking on the moonlit door, and his horse in the silence chopped the grass of the forest's ferny floor. And a bird flew up out of the turret above the traveler's head, and he smote upon the door a second time. Is there anybody there? He said. So, students, the poem begins with a question. A traveler comes. Is anybody there? So the traveler wants to know about anybody. Is there anybody there knocking on the moonlit door? Moonlit door means door shining with rays or light of moon. Means it is a night, we can say, and the moon is shining. The rays of the moon fall on the door and the door is shining. So in these lines, what happens? A traveler comes. He wants to know something. So he is knocking the door. And his horse in the silence chopped the grass. So the traveler, we can also say he's a rider. His horse chopped. Chopped means greased the grass of the forest's ferny floor. Ferny actually is a kind of plant. Now, the atmosphere is very silent. A traveler comes. He searches somebody, or he wants to know about somebody, and he's knocking on the door, and his horse is grazing the grass. So, and a bird flew out of the turret. Turret कहते हैं tower, जिसको हम मीनार भी कहते हैं. So a bird, when the traveler knocks the door, bird flew up, यानी उड़ता है. Above the traveler's head. Above the traveler's head means above his head. And he smote upon the door. He here refers again to the traveler. Again he knocked on the door. He hit the door very hard. Smote कहते hit hard. Is there anybody there? He said. And again he asks, is there anybody? So in the first stanza of the poem, we see the atmosphere. It is a very dark atmosphere. It is night, but there is moonlight. So a traveler comes, and the house, it is only one house in the forest, and the traveler wants to meet somebody. He knocks the door, and this silence breaks up with the grazing of grass of the horse, and also with the birds fly from the turret. And again the traveler, he strikes the door, he knocks the door and asks to meet somebody. But no one descended to the traveler. So nobody descended means came down to the traveler. Nobody came down. The traveler, first he knocks the door and the silence breaks up, and again he knocks the door, but nobody came to him. No head from the leaf-fringed sill leaned over and looked into his grey eyes. No head bent down, मतलब है कि कोई ऊपर से, यानी जो वहां से कोई खिड़की थी उस पर वो पत्ते कुछ कोई प्लांट लगा हुआ था, तो वहां से भी कोई सर बाहर नहीं आया, नीचे नहीं देखने लगा कि कौन कोई है या नहीं. So he says no head from the leaf fringed sill. Leaf fringed sill means covered with leaves. Sill means base of the window. बेस ऑफ द विंडो का मतलब है कि हमारे पास विंडो होती है तो उसकी जो वो बुनियाद होती है वहां से कोई भी नहीं निकला. तो ये कह रहा है कि leaned over and looked into his grey eyes. Leaned कहते हैं bent, and looked with his eyes. Somebody is knocking door. So there was nobody came out, nobody came to the traveler, and nobody, not any head, nobody looked to the traveler who was at the door. But only a host where he here refers to the poet, where he stood perplexed means confused and puzzled, because nobody answers his call, nobody responded him. So the traveler, he became confused, he became puzzled and settle here means again this silent. And now the traveler, there was nobody responded him, nobody answers his call, so he puzzled and he confused and he was silent, but only a host of phantom listeners. Now this traveler realized the house is empty, there was nobody, only there were the listeners were the phantoms. Phantoms here means the ghosts. तो ट्रैवलर ने जब उनको बताया कि यहां पर कोई है, किसी ने उसका जवाब नहीं दिया, तो अब वो परेशान भी हुआ. और उसके बाद क्या हुआ कि अब उसने ये रियलाइज कर दिया, उसने ये अब अखज़ कर लिया कि यहां पर अगर है वो सिर्फ गोस्ट्स है. फैंटम्स कहते हैं गोस्ट्स. That dwelt means lived. That dwelt in the loon house then. The traveler, now he realized this thing. The house, there were not human beings, but only the ghosts, they lived there. Stood listening in the quiet of the morning. And stood listening means only the ghosts. They were the listeners there. So they were listening in the quiet, in this silence of moonlight, to that voice from the world of man. The voice from the world of man here means the traveler here considers himself that he is only one human being in the whole world. So he considers that these phantoms, these ghosts, they are listening the voice of the only man, the lonely man of the world, that is a traveler. Stood thronging the faint moonbeams on the dark stair. Stood thronging. Thronging means in groups. The faint moonbeams. Moonbeams here refers to the pillars. They were shining with the faint light of this moon on the dark stair. Stair कहते हैं सीढ़ी को. तो वहां पर कुछ पिलर्स थे तो वो वहां पर खड़ा थे. That goes down to the empty hall, and their shadows, they are shown in the empty hall. तो क्या है कि एक एटमॉस्फेयर यहां पर क्रिएट कर रहा है कि ये डेजर्टेड हाउस जो था, कोई वहां पर नहीं था, सिर्फ रियलाइज कर रहा है, क्या कर रहा है कि शायद गोस्ट्स वहां पर सुन रहे थे, और वहां पर वो पिलर्स जो थे, जो दिखाई देते थे, यानी वो बीम्स जो दिखाई दे रहे थे, वो उनकी जो उनके जो वो अकस थे या वो शेडोज थे, वो उस हॉल में पड़े हुए थे. टू दैट वॉइस ऑफ द hearkening means listening in an air stirred, means हवा में सुनते थे. stirred means moving and shaken, और वह उसमें हलचल हो जाता था. by the lonely travelers call, इसके यानी सिर्फ ये एक्चुअली वो क्रिएट कर रहा है अपने आप में, एक इमेज क्रिएट कर रहा है कि सिर्फ कौन सुन रहे थे, कि इसकी ये आवाज कौन सुन रहे थे, वो एक फैंटम्स, और दूसरा कि वो बीम्स जो थे उन्हीं से वो इधर उधर घूमते थे उसकी आवाज से. एंड ही फेल्ट इन हिज हार्ट देयर स्ट्रेंजनेस, एंड he here refers to the poet, this traveler. He says that he felt, तो उसने महसूस किया in his heart their strangeness, their strange feelings. उसने ये महसूस किया अपने ही दिल में, their stillness answering his cry, and he is feeling that their stillness means this silence answering his cry, while his horse moved. And his horse, on the other hand, the traveler had his horse, and the horse also moved. Cropping means grazing the director of these plants. Neath means under, niche, neath. The starred and leafy sky. Starred here means the sky was full of stars, and leafy sky means that under the trees. For he suddenly smote the door even louder and lifted his head. For he smoted, he knocked the door and lifted his head. उसने अपना सर ऊपर की तरफ किया. Tell them I came. तो उसने आवाज लगाई, उनको बताना मैं आया. And no one answered. There was nobody. That I kept my word. Kept my word means fulfilled my promise. Kept word. Fulfilled. Promise. Kept my word, and he said, never the least sitter made the listeners. But nobody moved, nobody made any kind of movement among the listeners. And though every word he spake, और जो कोई उसने कहा, for echoing throwing the shadowness of the still house, और वहां से उसकी वो इकोइंग वापस आ गई. यानी इको कहते हैं रिबाउंडिंग ऑफ द साउंड, सिर्फ उसकी ही आवाज वापस आती थी. फॉर द मैन, वन मैन लेफ्ट अवे, और वो यही देख रहा था कि सिर्फ एक ही आदमी जो उस वक्त बेदार था, वो ये ट्रेवलर था. सो द रिमेनिंग पार्ट विल बी taught on the next lecture.